Hi everyone, I am going to teach you tonight how to make a new recipe. It's called fried pickle dip. It sounds delicious. If you are a fan of dill pickle, I think you'll really like this one. So let's get started. This recipe is from our spring summer new Season's Best cookbook. You can also find it on my website. So there are a couple of different options for you to get it there. And it calls for very basic ingredients. I'm quite pleased about that, so you don't need much extra. The only thing we needed to get was the refrigerated pizza dough and the fried onions. So normally we found the fried onions like the French's brand in the little polycoat little carton. This is what the grocery store had, so we have lots. So what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to put what we're not using into the freezer, because these will turn rancid if they don't get used frequently enough, and the way we eat, it just won't get used frequently enough. So that's what I'm going to do with those ones. The refrigerated pizza crust, if you have the time to do up your own pizza dough, definitely use that. But if you want to do the shortcut, just use the refrigerated dough. So I'm going to get started with the pizza dough. Actually, I'm going to come to the dip in a moment, because when you're doing this recipe, you can actually do the dip in advance, do the breadsticks just before you need them. But I'm going to do it the opposite tonight, because we'll just sample the dip and put the rest into the fridge. But there's no timeline on that. So when you're doing the dough, you're going to use the can of the pizza crust. I have a feeling that opening this package is going to be the toughest part of the recipe, to be honest. It's going to be really, really simple. I got out a cutting board in case I was going to use that. I have a feeling that I won't need to, but I have it just in case. So I think I'm going to do is actually do it right on my bar pan. But I didn't know how much space the dough took up, so that's why I have the board out, just in case. This will be perfect. So I don't need the board. Okay, and then you cut it into 8 slices widthwise. This is going to be a time when I'm grateful for the little crust cutter on my pizza cutter, because it will allow me to get to the edges of the pieces that I can't reach with the blade, because they're so close to the edges of the pan. That does make an awful sound, but it's okay. Nothing's being harmed. And then we'll just cut it in half this way. Okay, that was done. That was very tough. Okay, and then we're going to take melted butter, and we're going to use dried dill. So we have dried dill, but we also have our all-purpose dill mix, which I think is fantastic. And I'm actually going to use this this dill in the dip. I'm going to use this in our butter mixture. So we want about a teaspoon. And it calls for salt as well. This does have some salt in it, I believe. Actually, no, it does not. So I am going to add some salt. Sometimes the mixes, if you get a spice blend, will have salt in it. That one does not. So let's take that and give this a little stir. And then take the brush, and I'm just simply doing this with them. So it's super, oh my gosh, this is so simple, you guys. I think you could get really creative with your flavor combinations here. If you want to do these breadsticks for something else with a different flavor of dip, or for a different occasion, and do like an Italian blend, or the smoky applewood would be yummy, or one of the onion, whether it's French onion or 3-onion rub. Rotisserie would be good with this. Seasoning salt would be good as well. Lots of options there. And I want to make sure I'm getting the butter mixture on all the surface of the dough. So every morsel will have a dilly taste to it. Okay. Then we want to twist each piece of dough. Boom, twist, and it's done. Now, if this was a TV show through the magic of television, I would be saying, and here the breadsticks are done. But we don't have that luxury tonight. So I'll just keep twisting, because what I'm going to do is, once these are twisted, is I'm going to brush the rest of the butter mixture, dill butter mixture, on top of these. So they're going to be thoroughly covered, which if you're a dill pickle fan, you're going to love this. This brush that I'm using, in case you're wondering, the bristles are made of silicone, so you can use this on your, when you're doing hot things as well, because the silicone won't melt, so you can use it if you're basting something that you have in the oven, or you're doing something on your stovetop, or out on your barbecue. Now just be warned, because the handle's not super long, that if you have to get close to something, your hand's gonna get warm from reaching across the barbecue. There. Drained to the last drop. There we go. So these are ready to go into the oven, and they bake for about 14 to 16 minutes. We'll pop these in. Okay, now let's get some fun started with the dip. So we're going to use Stella. This is our Flex Plus, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about Stella. Stella has the capability of being three appliances, three tools in one. So you can use Stella as a food processor, you can use Stella as an immersion blender, and as a hand mixer. So this is the motor handle. So everything you'll need this piece for sure. It comes with a battery, as well as a second battery and a charging station. So you can move this anywhere in your kitchen, cottage, deck, wherever you want to do it. Super handy for that. The immersion blender gets attached to this with the battery, and then you just do what you need to do with your immersion blender. If you're using it as a hand mixer, this gets attached to the handle that has where the beaters go in, using the battery, of course. And here is the food processor bowl. So I like using this for cabbage and carrots. It's super easy, but you can also use it for scalloped potatoes and all kinds of things. So it comes with two blades. Depending on which you want for your finish, you can have coarse grate or fine grate, and you can have thick slices or thin slices. You decide what works best for you. I don't need either of those tonight because I'm using the multi-use blade. So for the multi-use blade, you're going to use the post, set it in the middle, put that down, give it a little turn, and it is good. I never have an issue with this except when I'm doing either a live video or a recorded video. There we go, lid fits down. Okay, so we're gonna put the motor attachment on, and we're going to add some dill pickle. Actually, I should have added the dill pickle first, but I'm just going to pop it in this way instead. Okay, we want about a half a cup. I think that's going to be about a half a cup-ish. Actually, I wanted a little bit less because I don't have as much cream cheese as the recipe calls for, so we're doing it on a reduced scale. Okay, So we're gonna put this in here and we're just gonna pulse this till it's coarsely chopped. So when you're using Stella, there's a safety mechanism. You have to push the button to allow the power to take effect. So when you push the button, you can see that it's lighting up here. This top bar shows the battery power, so you can see my battery is fully charged. The bottom one shows what speed I'm at. So I've pushed this, I'm ready to get going. If you wanna increase the speed, you turn it up. Go. And you can see it's not sliding around the countertop. This guy's got great grip on here that won't slide around. Okay, now I'm going to add in the rest of the ingredients, which are, I'll just take this off so you guys can see how it goes together again. There we go. So now we're going to add the dried dill here, 2 teaspoons of that. And this came from one of my hosts, gave me one of her dill plants. So I dried it, and then this is the result. I am not a gardener at all, not for food anyway. Flowers I can put, if it can stay in the ground and doesn't need any maintenance, that is my kind of plant. All right, we got this. We have cream cheese. It calls for a package of cream cheese. I have about a half-ish package of cream cheese. Which is why I'm doing less in here. I need sour cream, so it calls for the full recipe calls for ½ cup of sour cream, so I have a little bit less than that. So using the 1 cup measure all, oops, for that. And 2 tablespoons of pickle juice going in. You also add in, and I didn't measure this, but you want a 1/4 cup of the fried onions. I'm going to use this bowl. This has measurements built right in on it. There we go. These are so good. If you've never had fried onions, they're delicious. They're great to go on burgers. They're great on casseroles, all kinds of stuff. All right, so we're going to line it up. So in the lid, there are notches. And they're openings, and then there are little protruding parts that fit into where the notches are open for your lid. So it just fits in there, twists it like a little bit on counterclockwise turn, pop it in, get the battery on, and then here we go. We are just going to blend it until combined about 30 seconds. That, my friends, is how simply this dip goes together. Honestly, if you weren't doing this for a video, you were just doing it at home, boom, you'd be dusted and done in no time at all. Delightful. That's awesome. So when you go to clean Stella, this is dishwasher safe, as is this. This is not. This is hand wash only, so I'm going to make sure that there's no food on it. I'm going to wipe it down. It's not even hand wash. You just wipe it down. You cannot submerge this because there are motor pieces in here that cannot have contact with water. The pitcher itself is dishwasher safe, and so are the blades, all of them. So the only thing that can't go in the dishwasher is this and this, and these just get a wipe down when they're done. Easy peasy, like you can. All right, so let me clean these off. I'm going to show you how easily the post comes off as well for cleaning. So I just give it a little, oh, my hands are a little slippery here. Do this. I usually rinse this off, but I'll just show you. Give it a little bit of a 1/4 turn, and it loosens it up, and you just take it in. Okay, and it goes in your dishwasher, or you can very carefully wash it by hand. And I say carefully because it's very sharp. Okay, so I love using this scoop and spread. It cleans down the sides of the bowl really, really nicely. There are measurements on the bowl too. So like if you're doing, I did a carrot cake the other day, and it needed X number of cups of that, so of carrots, so I just was able to measure them in here. So this dip, you can actually serve it with veggies, you can serve it with chips, you can serve it with the breadsticks like we're doing. It'll have lots of versatility. I think it'd be really good on a hamburger as well. So that's really terrific. And the reason you do these kind of pickles versus preserved pickles is sometimes they have a little bit more in terms of flavor to add to the recipe, especially with the juice, but you can really use any variety that you want at all. So this is a quick, budget-friendly recipe that a lot of things you're going to have from your pantry. It's vegetarian. It is just such a great thing that you can do. And like I said, you can make this up ahead of time, stick it in your fridge. So what you're going to do is if you're going to serve it, you can do like they show in the picture here. Put it in your small cool and serve right there, and put your veggies and things in around that. When you go to serve it, you're going to take a few more of these French fried onions and just sprinkle them on top. So you can see how awesome this would be, even with nacho chips, all kinds of great stuff. So I'm going to put this into a dish, and we will be enjoying this very shortly. I have no doubt. So I hope you have enjoyed this recipe. If you have any questions about the recipe or the products that I've used here, feel free to ask. That's what I'm here for. And thanks again for pulling up a chair in Carrie's Kitchen Corner. Enjoy the rest of your day.